Deep down inside, you probably feel like if you could learn more, do more, earn more, achieve more, accomplish more, set more goals, then you could finally get rid of all of those worries and problems that plague your life. But you can't. And this video is an ode to show you that there are 6 more life problems that you will never be able to get rid of. Number 1, uncertainty. No matter how hard you try, the next day is always uncertain. The next step forward will never be 100% clear. There will always be at least a sliver of uncertainty that will plague you. But the thing is uncertainty isn't bad. Your ability to move on the other side of uncertainty will afford you more than the goal that you're looking to obtain. You will gain a better and stronger character by being able to move through the uncertainty. When you start to change your relationship with how you see uncertainty, it no longer becomes a problem. It becomes like a chisel that will craft your character into something more. It becomes one of the tools that you use to build yourself into the best version of yourself. But it all depends on how you look at uncertainty. Number 2 is pain. And pain and uncertainty are like brothers because they will both have the same effect on the person that is on the path to improving themselves. Pain is but one thing. It is a speaker of truth. It is showing you which direction you should be going, if you should be moving towards this thing or away from it. And it's your job to be able to develop the ears to listen to the direction that pain is trying to push you. The more that you develop the ability to listen to pain, it's much less about listening with your head and much more about listening with your heart. When you're listening to your heart, you have no idea where you're going to end up. But all that you do know is that you're going to be going in the right direction. And the path will be riddled with pain and uncertainty when you start to see the second brother of pain, which is growth. You see, pain is not a stagnant black and white one thing. It is part of a process, like going to the gym and building your muscle. It is anabolic and catabolic, day and night, hot and cold. Pain is a process. And to run away from pain would to be running away from the other side of that process, which is your growth. Now, number 3 is comparison. Now, we've often heard the saying that comparison is the thief of joy. So we close our eyes so we don't see how those around us are doing. And when we are forced to look at them, we repeat the mantra, don't compare, because we think that comparison is what is robbing us of our joy of life. But I think we need to question that statement a little bit deeper. Is comparison really the thief of joy? Because it's something that we've been naturally doing since we've been children. He has the red truck, I have the blue truck. But as we grew older, we learned another thought process that we've unconsciously attached to comparison that is actually the thief of joy. You see, when we see Jimmy and we say, Jimmy is faster than me, that is a fact. But then we add on judgment saying, and therefore I suck. And that's where we run into problems. Comparison is a natural process and is actually very helpful for showing us where we are along the journey. Judgment is a learned habit that we have to go about unlearning. And to unlearn judgment, you have to first recognize when it appears, question if it's grounded in reality. Do I really suck just because somebody's faster than me? And then breathe and let go of that thought and consciously put your attention onto something else. That way we don't have to try to force ourselves not to look at other people's results. We can go about this process that actually helps us grow, but we can let go of the judgment that we've unconsciously attached to it. Number 4, productivity. Maybe if I could achieve more, or I could earn more money, or if I could check off more of the boxes on my to-do list, I could fill this hole in my chest that is constantly wanting to try to justify my existence to myself, the world, and the people around me. But unfortunately, that's not how this works, because that hole is there because you're trying to justify your existence by the use of goals. And you can always push the goalpost farther and farther down the road. In fact, you always will push it farther and farther. And goals are not a bad thing, but when your self-identity, your self-worth, and your validation are grounded in your ability to achieve goals, your feelings of accomplishment are going to be very short-lived. It's almost like if you had a tissue box and every time you pull out the tissue or you achieve another goal, there's going to be another tissue there already waiting for you to go. It'll be this endless cycle of one goal after the other, only to realize that there's already another tissue in the tissue box waiting to go. And in a world that is fueled by productivity books and gurus teaching you how to optimize every second of your waking life, you have to close your eyes and take a breath and remember that we're all fools that are just on this giant rock that's floating through space. Your life will be filled with a lot more joy if you learn to find fulfillment and satisfaction in just the idea of living. And just finding satisfaction and validation in existence itself, not in needing to get to the next task or to get to the next goal. Number 5 is pleasure. When we look at pleasure as a way to escape our feelings of dissatisfaction, it becomes a trap. Pleasure is not able to fix an unstructured and broken mind. It can only add to a mind that is rooted in its foundation. For pleasures such as parties or food or interactions with people to add value to your life, you first have to build a structured mind. Otherwise, it becomes an addiction trap, a downward spiral of constantly needing the next hit. Pleasure is like kinetic energy, and without the proper container to hold it, becomes destructive and leaky. It's not able to enhance your life because it's being used in the wrong method, in the wrong way. The secret is that you can use pleasure to reinforce your structure. For example, you can gain pleasure from eating the donut, but you can also gain a different kind of pleasure from saying no to the donut. There are different types of pleasures, and if you use the wrong flavor of pleasure at the wrong time, it can be destructive. But if you use the right one, it can reinforce your motivation and discipline to continue moving forward. It just again depends on how you look and how you use pleasure in your life. Number 6 is that there will always be challenges. No matter how much you do or how much you earn or who you become, life is always going to be filled with some kind of challenges or problems. It's a self-deception to think that if you earn more money or you get a bigger house, somehow all of your problems and issues will disappear. The kind of challenges that affect you are going to depend on how you look at them. They can either be problems or they can be good challenges that shape and mold you for a better future. A positive and optimistic worldview will change any problem into a good challenge that will help you move forward. If you're not having any good challenges, it's because you're looking at every challenge as an issue or problem that's pushing you downwards. It all depends on the lens that you apply to the world in front of you. When you put the right lens in front of your eyes, you'll be able to change those problems into a productive challenge, something that crafts and builds your character. All of the previous challenges that we talked about all rely on how you look at them, and it completely changes them from being an issue to something that builds you. Change your relationship with a problem and it immediately becomes a productive challenge.